Not much. Okay, so you come out to 1975, and the more important thing about 1975, 74, 75, maybe you have the New York Dolls and Ramones, as Art said. But it's more important to speak about 1976, not because of what happened. Well, yeah, because of what happened. It's what didn't happen in rock and roll. Here's what didn't happen in rock and roll. Kiss, okay, and
Charlie's Angels?
shh, Charlie's Angels.
What about them?
With the dawning of Kiss and Charlie's Angels, you knew there was going to be no more Gilligan's Island when that came on. And there was going to be no more any good music with this stuff. It's like stadium concerts with Bozo on stage. You know? I mean, that was basically it. And so after this period, you know, there might have been some offshoots from the Dolls, like the Sex Pistols, which were very important.
Yeah.
But, you know, the problem with the post-Sex Pistols bands like Elvis Costello and The Clash is they missed the point because they took everything so seriously. And like the whole point of these guys was you didn't take things seriously. You didn't make political statements like these idiots from right here, 1970. You know, The Clash. I mean, like trying to tell me know your rights or anything. It's like the Pistols were just saying like, you know, I don't want a baby who looks like that. That's much more important.
Where's James Taylor and Joni Mitchell in this?
Yeah, don't they count? They're in that gray area.
I don't see
They're in a
them.
gray area, you can't find them.
Area.
Anyway, so that's it. None of those. But what did happen was since they brought back this primitive music here with the Ramones and the Dolls and eventually the Pistols, it sort of opened the door to be silly and stupid again and make stupid music and stupid records like this, Hillbilly Boogie. Go all the way back to Hillbilly Boogie. You can't get stupider records than Hillbilly Boogie. And by the way, I forgot to mention Garage Punk, the McCoys.
Yeah.
You have to have Hang On Sloopy by the McCoys in there, and everything else like Little Girl by the Syndicate of Sound, and of course a group, speaking of Charlie's Angels, the Castaways with Liar Liar.
Oh, yeah, right.
Without the Castaways doing Liar Liar, you know, you have no Gilligan's Island, you have no Castaways, you know? And that's why Charlie's Angels is so important to the evolution of Kiss and Charlie's Angels.
Hey, can we send this whole thing to Pete Frame? Because I think he's
Well,
going
I
to love
think
it a
that's
lot.
about it. Now let me just cover the 80s and 90s.
We got to get
Paul on.
Stupid music starts here, and it ends up here with the Sex Pistols, and that opens the door for the 80s, this period where you have groups like the Blasters and the Crawdaddies and other bands that came out around that time, like The Unclaimed, which was a 60s punk band going back to the Castaways.
We got to go to Paul.
McCoys.
Paul, get out
That's
there.
about it. 1990, Big Sandy and the Fly Ride Trio.
That's right.
Here we are.
That's right. Well, thank you very much, Dominic Perroy. You're not a man of few words. You're a man of many, but you have a lot to say. Now, Paul, do you have anything to say about what's been said,
I don't have
so
much
far?
to say. I mean, I can't know.
Keep it by your mouth, though.
Anyway, let's see. Starting off.
Get you a space here. There's really no place for you to go.
There's no place for. No, leave that up there.
I just want to give you something.
Where's that? Where's that?
Whoa.
That doesn't matter.
Cow's Hills.
Castles and Charltons don't matter.
Well, Cowsills don't. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we had R&B, but see, right around here, right around 60, this was the beginning of the golden era for soul music. See, with Benny King doing Stand By Me and all that stuff, which nobody talks about, which is beautiful stuff, right? Plus, we got the Impressions. Nobody talks about the Impressions. Totally forgotten. Very important. Impressions. Curtis Mayfield.
The camera.
You know, Curtis Mayfield, very important.
Yeah.
Impressions. You know, that whole Chicago
Jerry
thing.
Butler, yeah.
Jerry Butler,
Yeah.
Curtis Mayfield,
Yeah.
the guy who couldn't walk, Walter Jackson, all those guys. Very important. And really nothing else needs to be said besides Prince and rap. With Ice Cube, which goes all the way back. He's just as funny as Louis Jordan, which should be right here at the very beginning. Louis Jordan and Louis Jordan's illegitimate white kid, Louis Prima. It's two illegitimate white kids, Louis Prima and Sam Batera, who are right next
They're
to it.
Italian,
Sam,
man.
I know, but you know, everybody talks about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That's these guys, okay? And that's where it starts. And like I said, Ice Cube is just as funny as Louis Jordan, and that's where it ends. All this other stuff is great, Uncle Phil was great. 1981. You know, we got to see Chenier and everything. I mean, you got to see Chenier, but I got to open the show for Chenier.
What do you mean?
Yeah, we opened for him at the Stardust.
But the Clifton Chenier
Yeah.
Red Hot Louisiana Band,
Yeah.
who opened for him?
The Sheiks of Shake.
Really?
Yeah, us. It was us, Top Jimmy.
Wow.
God, I forget who else.
That's
Yeah, we
good-
got to
good
open for him.
times.
So, I mean, we got to
Yeah.
open for him and Captain Beefheart the same year. So you can't beat that. 1980. Let's see. 1958. 1958 was all right because he had "Come On, Let's Go," which was a great rock and roll song
By Richie Valens?
by Richie Valens. He was gone the next year, but it died right around here with the Flock of Bobbies and all those guys, and.
We
You
got
know,
2 minutes
and also 73 was probably the worst year ever in the history of music.
73?
Yeah, 73, because it had Jim Croce, that kind of crap.
Tony Orlando.
Was the beginning of that. The worst year without a doubt, outside of maybe last year.
We got to sit down.
Okay.
You-
Anyway, that's it. That's the history of rock and roll. That's where it starts. That's where it ends.
Oh, well, thanks very much. Speaking of 73, I want to, on our way out just about, I want to mention my pivotal role in that year, because I was working at Capitol Records that year, and that was when, I guess I don't need this. Let's use the mic here. That was the year that the tapes for Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon were flown in, kind of still wet, fresh, into Capitol Records for the Capitol executives to hear it. And I wasn't an executive, I was sort of a college campus kind of guy, but they invited me in to hear it, you know. And I said, doesn't sound like nothing to me. I said, the Persuasions are a lot better than this. So they didn't listen to me. It sold, 20, 30 million records. And I'm still right. I mean, who listens to Pink Floyd? Do you?
No.
No, see?
No?
None of us
Listen to the
none of us
Persuasions.
take drugs. That's probably why.
There could be an explanation for the popularity of that music.